Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Oh, hi, honey. Missy and your saddle arrived this afternoon.
Where is it?
Well, I took it up the cabin.
You don't need to do that.
I want to do it. How are you?
Fine.
Well, you don't sound fine, and you don't look fine either. Now, what's the matter?
I'm worried about Justin.
The well is shut down. Ryan is hiring an engineer to do a directional survey, and pretty soon, Justin's going to be out of the oil business.
But if he's convicted of slat drilling, he'll be put in jail, won't he?
That won't bother me one bit.
Let it bother me, Max. I don't want that for Justin.
Hey, I wish you wouldn't be so upset about the survey.
I can't help it, Ashley.
Well, look, once they prove that you're not slant drilling, it'll all be over.
The point is, Ryan believes Max and not me. That's how it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, but once that survey proves that Max was wrong, I think Ryan Carn will have a totally different attitude about you. Entirely.
Fat chance.
Why are you being so negative?
I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic.
Justin, you can't just give up like this. Oh, sweetheart, this is only the beginning. I mean, if you plan on going after control of this company, you're going to have a lot of battles with Ryan Connor, just like this one. You're just going to have to get used to it. Mrs. Wheeler will help you, won't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll help.
And I'll do what little I can.
You are an amazing woman, Ashley Linden.
Hey, I think I'll go powder my nose and I'll put my files away. So why don't you just come here and meet me at my office, okay?
Okay. Where have you been, Bubba? I've been trying to reach you all day.
Well, here I am. What's on your mind?
You and I are on our way to prison. You better do something about it.
How'd you talk with Elena go?
Fine.
Then she's coming tonight.
If she feels up to it, she's coming, yeah.
And what happens if she doesn't feel up to it?
Then her brother will fill in for her.
You know, you ought to give Ricky a chance.
Do what?
Sing! He's good!
I gave Ricky a chance. You know what he did? He talked me into asking me for a divorce. That's what he did.
What's wrong with him?
Business problems. Sit down. Take a load off your feet.
Thanks.
So, how are the old vocal cords tonight?
Well, I guess they're fine. Why?
Just wondering. In case Elena doesn't show.
Well, you can stop wondering, because she's here. Elliot, how'd the first day on the job go?
Well, I think.
If we finish dinner here in time for the 10 o'clock news, we can all see how it went.
Something special?
Well, we had crew covering the explosion at the Harland Well.
Elliot realized that we already had a camera crew out there doing a story on condominiums. Otherwise, we would never have been there in time.
Yeah, you must be happy to work for KVRK again, Dad.
Yes, and I am. Very.
Not nearly as happy as we are to have you back.
Thank you.
Oh, it would be wonderful if...
If what, Vicky?
Well, I was going to say it would be wonderful if you would come back to the station and then you and your dad could work together.
Yes, but it would be a little difficult working from inside a prison cell, wouldn't it?
Hello, Alfredo.
to see you, Mrs. Carrington.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
I have a special table for you.
Oh,
Paige, maybe we'd better go somewhere else for dinner.
Well, why?
Because your husband is here.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
Ryan Connor has hired an engineer to do a directional survey on that well.
So?
You know what they're going to find? Slant drilling, my friend, and we're off to prison for 10 years.
Look, I have had directional surveys on my well before, and there is no problem if you know how to handle it.
Yeah. How's that?
Well, the trick is, you gotta pick the right company and the right engineer.
Ryan Connor is doing the picking, Bubba.
Has he hired anybody yet?
Not yet. Ashley's been on the phone all day, getting names and asking recommendations. Searching background. She probably even knows their zodiac signs. There is no way we're going to get control of that, though.
Has he looked at our engineer's report?
No. Max has convinced him they're fake. Ryan's going to find out that Max Decker has been telling the truth.
Well, it is up to you to see that he doesn't.
You're not listening to me, Bubba. Alex Wheeler is dead. Ryan Connor is making all the decisions now.
Then you get him to pick the right company.
How am I going to do that?
Give it some thought, buddy. You'll find a way.
Bubba?
Yeah?
Who is the right company?
Would you rather go somewhere else?
We're here, aren't we?
Follow me, please.
Has everyone decided what they're having?
How are the soft-shell crabs?
excellent.
Well, soft-shell crabs it is, then.
Dennis, what about you?
Well, now, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Would you care for cocktails before dinner?
No, nothing for me, thank you.
Let me see the wine list, please. Are we really going to be able to enjoy this evening?
I don't know about you, but I'm going to have a wonderful time.
Well, I don't think we're off to a very good start. Is that why you suggested we come here, Paige? Because you thought we might run into Dennis?
I came here, Peter, because they happen to have the best food in town, and I'm hungry.
Okay.
Besides, I knew we would be well taken care of because of Alfredo.
Isn't that Pete Parnell with Paige?
Yes, it is.
Wasn't he the one that made the connection between Joe Foster and Chris Shaw's murder?
Parnell is partly responsible for having Dennis's sentence reduced.
She's got some nerve. Showing her face here.
Ben.
Oh, she couldn't wait, could she? The divorce won't even be final for the next 60 days, but she couldn't wait to show the whole world what she's really become.
Dennis, Parnell, and Paige are very old friends.
Oh, she's even dressed the part. Just look at her.
Your soon-to-be ex-husband doesn't seem to be able to keep his eyes off you.
Dennis.
Look, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm just not going to make it through dinner, all right?
We can go somewhere
No,
else,
Vicky, look,
Dennis.
I'm sorry if I ruined your evening, but please, just stay here. Please! You can reach me at home, Dad.
All right, see you later. Don't look now, but I think trouble's heading our way.
You're looking beautiful tonight, Paige.
Thank you.
For a tramp.
Would you excuse me, Dennis? What did you say to Paige?
I was merely complimenting Paige on her attire.
Dennis.
Seems very appropriate for what she's become.
Dennis, I think Paige is feeling every bit as much pain as you are.
Look, Dad, I don't want to hear about Paige's pain right now if it's all right with you.
Come on,
She's
Dennis.
the reason I'm going to prison. I think that's pretty good compensation for anything she might be going through.
You should be very happy. You got what you wanted, didn't you? You haven't changed a bit. The worse he treats you, the more you love him. It's like old times.
I'd like to order.
How long did you live in Nashville, Ruby?
A little more than a year.
Well, I thought that Billy Joe told me you left home when you were 17.
Oh, yeah, well, I lived in Atlanta for about 5 years.
Did you and Billy Joe keep in touch all that time?
You know how it is. We talked to each other from time to time. Then we lost touch altogether when he went to Huntsville prison.
Well, what brought you to Houston?
Billy Joe.
He wrote to you?
Billy Joe never wrote me one letter in his whole life.
Well, then how did you know where it was?
Well, I read in the papers that he was in trouble. So I thought maybe my big brother could use some family help.
You can cool with the big brother bit, Ruby. I'm only 1 year older than you, and you aren't being very much help to me right now.
Billy Joe, you're going to be in a bad mood all night long. Come on, Billy Joe, cheer up.
I'm sorry, Lana. I didn't mean to wreck your first night here back at the coop.
Who said you were ruining it?
I did.
Billy Joe, things are going to turn out a lot better than you think they are. You're just down in the dumps, that's all.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, you all warmed up and ready to go?
I sure am.
Yeah, it's getting close to showtime.
I didn't realize it was so late.
Well, you got someplace to go before the show?
No, I just wanted to go fix up my makeup before I go on, that's all.
I still think the best place for Justin is in jail.
Max, he's my grandson. He's a marshal.
He's a criminal, Kate.
Justin hasn't been convicted of anything yet, Max. He hasn't even been arrested.
He will be as soon as the survey is complete.
Well, I just can't believe that Justin would do anything that was criminal.
Well, I think it's more criminal to go behind your back to buy the ranch than it is to slant drill.
Max, Justin's not going to be able to buy the ranch.
Now, honey, how do you know that? Now, Courtney just talked to Kate on the phone the other day, and she said that she wouldn't sell to Justin, but then that is what Paige said, too.
Kate got a letter from Courtney today. She promised she wouldn't sell to Justin.
What about Barry?
He's going to send a letter, too, isn't he?
Well, I'm glad that's finally settled.
But if Justin is guilty of slant drilling, you'll have to press charges, Max. It's your oil he's stealing.
Yeah, I know. I just can't understand this sudden surge of sympathy for Justin. Now, he's been terrible to you, Kate.
I don't deny that.
Kate, listen, do you want me just to forget about this whole slant drilling thing? I mean, would you rather I don't press charges?
Well, if... Oh, I just don't know, Max.
But is it what you would like?
Why don't we wait until the investigation is over? Then we can talk about what we're going to do.
Okay. I will not do anything about it until I talk to you, no matter what the result of the survey, okay?
Thank you, Max. Oh, I just don't know what's happening to us anymore. Looks as if everything's going haywire. First Barry, Paige, now Justin.
I know how painful this is for you, Kate. But things will be better. You'll see.
I always believed that God had a plan. And I do have Steve and Ginny, and you and Max.
When you need us, we'll be here. You just remember that.
Nothing for the lady. I'll have a scotch on the rocks, please.
You've been drinking a lot lately, Justin.
No, I haven't been drinking that much.
Okay. Whatever you say. But be careful, will you?
You sound just like Grandma, Ashley.
Somehow I don't think you meant that as a compliment.
I didn't. I do appreciate you caring about me, though.
Grandmother cares about you, too.
Oh, yeah, she does. Yeah, in her own way. It's not personal, though. It's not me. Grandma feels an obligation to the family as a whole. Whether she likes what you're doing or not, she'll usually support you. My grandfather had that same fierce kind of loyalty.
I think that's wonderful.
Grandma didn't seem too loyal yesterday when she told me I wasn't welcome out at the ranch anymore.
When this investigation's over, she'll feel completely different.
I hope so. Thank you.
It's funny how you take that for granted. Sense of family.
Grew up with it, Ashley.
Wish I had. I never had a sense of belonging anywhere. No matter what happened to me, it was always temporary. Been shuttled back and forth between Aunt Hildy's.
Oh, yeah, you told me the reason that you spent so much time at your Aunt Hildy's was she was rich. She could always give you the things that, well, your mama couldn't afford.
Well, that's true. And for the longest time, I thought Mama was right.
And now?
Now? I know that all the pretty little dresses and all the horseback riding lessons, it's no substitute for the only thing in life that's important.
What's that, Ashley?
That sense of family. No money in the world can buy that.
Maybe not. But you can make sure your kids have it.
Oh, I intend to. I intend for my kids to have everything.
I wonder if I should go check on Dennis.
Elliot, why don't you give Dennis some time alone?
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, Grant.
May I present my daughter, Lacey. This is Vicky.
Hello, welcome to your...
Stryker Bellman.
Thank you.
Lacey?
It's nice to meet you.
And Elliot Carrington. How do you do?
Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
She's a pretty girl, isn't she?
She certainly is. You know, before she arrived in Houston, Grant said he was interested in finding her a job. I wonder if she really wants one.
Didn't you say something about finding something at the station for her?
Yes, I did. What do you think about that, Elliot?
Well, I'm sure it could be arranged.
Okay, I'll call Grant in the morning.
Fine.
I like this place.
Well, was it worth putting a dress on for?
Almost.
How was your ride this afternoon?
It was okay. I guess.
Why?
I don't know. I prefer riding at the Marshall Ranch, really.
Why?
I don't know. I just like it better out there. Despite the fact that I got started on a very poor foot.
Why? What happened?
Oh, well, Max told me to go saddle up the Chestnut. And Jeb Hampton saw me coming out of the stables. And he thought I was a horse thief.
Very funny.
I thought so. It's too stupid to get upset about. Besides, it's kind of cute.
Well, I suppose he's a pleasant enough fellow.
When'd you meet him?
Max Decker and Lacey, the man is a ranch hand. He's a drifter.
Dad, I just met him yesterday. He didn't like me right off. Stop worrying.
I'm not worrying.
Yes, you are. Every time I meet a new guy, you go into a decline.
Well, that's a slight exaggeration.
Dad, you always find a million reasons of not liking the guys that I like.
That's because the guys you like are not good enough for you.
Well, you don't have to worry about Jeb Hampton. He'll probably never speak to me again. Okay?
All right. I will not worry about Jeb Hampton.
Wish Aunt Iris could have joined us.
Well, I think it's a little early for her to be going to restaurants, especially in a building that Alex learned.
Well, I don't think she should stay in that house all the time.
Well, she'll come out when she's ready. Lacey, it is not polite to stare.
Mrs. Billman is rather stunning, isn't she?
I told you she was.
I know. I didn't believe you. Mrs. Father's very handsome.
Carrington? Yeah. Of course, his real father was Alex.
You mean his natural father? I gather that Mr. Carrington raised him. That makes him his real father.
I suppose so.
This was my cousin.
Yes?
I've never met him. He's going to jail in a couple of days.
Well, I'm afraid that's true. Unless a miracle saves him.
His father must be very upset.
Of course he is.
I wish I could help Dennis.
You've done all you can, Stryker.
Well, I've done everything I could. All legal channels are closed to me at the moment without new evidence.
Well, you mustn't blame yourself, Stryker. What else could you have done? Dennis created the problem by confessing to the Chris Shaw's murder. If he hadn't done that.
I know. Just have to hope for something to turn up.
Are the police doing anything at all?
Well, they're investigating Elena Decker's kidnapping in New York and in Houston.
But no luck yet.
No, not yet. They hope to get a lead on this Joe Foster. Maybe they will. I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't count on it.
Let's face it, Elliot. It's only hope now.
You're both assuming that this Joe Foster did kill Chris Shaw.
Dennis didn't kill him. I know that.
Well, do you really believe that Joe could have done this?
He's the prime suspect. I intend to concentrate on finding Joe Foster.
Hi, Jeannie. This is Helen Small. Right, Mel's friend. Would it be all right if I spoke to him for a minute, please? What? When? Well, did he say where he was going? What did he look like? No, that's okay. I have the number. Thank you. I'm sorry to have bothered you, Jeannie. Joe, please be all right.
Max, you really want Justin in jail, don't you?
I'd like to see them throw the book at him.
Even if it destroys Kate?
I don't think it's gonna destroy her, honey.
You just remember what you told her, that you're going to wait until after the investigation is over.
That's what I told Kate, and that's what I'm gonna do. Now, don't worry, I'm not gonna do anything stupid.
I'll be glad when all this is over so we can think about happier things.
You mean like our new house and our barn dance?
Wait a minute, I wonder if the barn has been cleaned up yet.
Almost. A couple more days, it'll be in real good shape.
I think we should paint it. Maybe we should whitewash it or something.
Honey, it's a barn.
I know. I just want it to be pretty. I wonder how Ashley will be.
Ashley?
If Justin is in jail, I get the impression that Ashley loves him.
Yeah,
And I'm sure she's living with him.
Do you think that Justin loves Ashley?
He isn't capable of loving anyone but himself.
I think Justin loves you.
No, he doesn't.
I think that's what started all this whole oil business. Justin wanted to break up our marriage.
Honey, for once in his life, Justin's really failed. Hasn't he?
He sure has.
Max and Rena'd be out on the town tonight.
Why?
Well, I just figured she'd be out with her parents celebrating. Might as well. It's going to be the last chance they'll have to celebrate for a while.
Maybe not.
Are you kidding? When that survey's done and Max Decker has to admit he was wrong, he won't have much cause to celebrate then.
Has Ryan Connor chosen a company to do the survey?
No, I haven't given him the list yet. We're supposed to have a meeting about it first thing in the morning. Oh, I wish you'd cheer up, Justin.
I just don't like the way things seem to be turning around. The well has stopped. We're losing money. We're going to lose the crew if we can't continue to pay them. I'm stuck with half a ranch. No control.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk to Courtney about selling.
I did. Grandma got to her first. She won't sell.
And Barrett, will he sell?
It's no use even calling Barrett. I know how he feels about the ranch, not to mention oil.
Well, now, Justin, Paige changed her mind.
It's just no use. Apart from everything else, Barrett is under psychiatric care. Anything that he would sign would be challenged in court.
You'll figure out a way to do it. I'm sure of it.
I wish I could be as optimistic as you.
Sweetheart, you're just tired. Hey, why don't we just skip dinner? I don't want to see those others in there anyway. You get some rest tonight, you'll feel a lot better tomorrow.
Ashley,
Yes?
I don't want to be alone tonight. Will you stay with me?
Of course.
So what's it like growing up on a ranch?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's not much different than growing up anyplace else.
Well, there's got to be some difference.
Well, yeah, maybe one.
What's that?
Well, we grew up riding horses instead of bikes.
All my life I've wanted to own a horse. There was this ranch near where Billy Joe and I grew up. They had the most beautiful horses I ever saw.
So did you ever get to ride them?
No. But I always used to say to myself, someday I'm going to own a ranch like that.
A ranch is a lot of work.
And get someone else to do the work.
Where's Elena?
She's gone home.
She's gone home? I thought she went out to check her makeup.
She feels sick again.
Where'd she go?
To her apartment at the Aquarius. I hate to ask this, Ricky, but, get you feeling again for Elena tonight?
Doesn't look like I have much choice now, does it?
Why are you looking so worried?
Because I ain't so sure that Mr. Parnell's going to be too happy about the idea of Elena canceling out again.
Yeah, well, it looks like you're going to get a chance to find out because Mr. Parnell just walked in.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Excuse me a minute, I have to talk to Grant.
All right, sweetheart.
You knew from the beginning what Dennis's problems with Paige were, didn't you?
Yes. I suppose I'm one of the few persons who knows about that porno film that Paige made. And I've wondered from the beginning how Dennis was going to deal with it.
No, Paige can't deal with it any better than Dennis.
Elliot, I have known Paige since she was a little girl, and she was never one to give up. But I have a feeling that that's exactly what she's doing right now. She obviously has no respect for herself.
Yes, and I blame Dennis for that.
You do?
In some ways. On the other hand, I know it isn't his fault either. I just wish there was something I could do for Paige.
Well, I hope you find a way, because she needs it desperately now.
Well, I'll do my best.
You know, Elliot, you really don't have to stay. I can wait for Stryker alone.
Oh, no, thank you, Vicky. I'm not in any hurry. Would you like more coffee?
Yes, thank you. I may as well. I think Stryker's going to be quite a while yet.
You're worried about him, aren't you?
Yes, I am. He's working such long hours lately.
Can't you get him to take some rest?
I've suggested that we take a vacation, even a long weekend, but, well, so far no success, but I'll keep trying.
Did Iris talk to you?
Yeah, this afternoon. Well, she's really upset about this thing.
Yeah, I know she is.
I tried to get a hold of Evan Douglas up in Dallas in the seminar. I won't be back till tomorrow.
Did Iris tell you that a nurse told her that Dr. Douglas wanted to see her in his office?
Yes, he did, but Dr. Douglas said he never heard anything about it, and he said, what's more, he wouldn't have had her come up to the office anyway. He'd have gone down to Alex's suite.
Now, do you find that strange?
Well, it's hard to understand unless there was maybe a new nurse.
That's exactly what I told Iris.
Iris thinks Ryan Connor's the one who tried to get out of the room.
I know that it doesn't make any sense, Stryker. I don't believe that Ryan even spoke to Alex that night.
Iris is convinced that someone tried to get her out of that room.
I know that.
You think it could be foul play?
No. But try to get somebody to convince Iris of that.
Joe, what's wrong? Is it the tattoo, Joe? I told you shouldn't have tried to take it off by yourself. It's dangerous, Joe.
It hurts.
Must be infected. I'm gonna go get Mac.
No.
You need help, Joe.
No, don't leave.
Joe, you could die. You need a doctor. Listen, I'm gonna go get Dr. McAllister, and you stay as still as you can, and I'll be back as fast as I can, okay? You stay there.
I wonder how much later Steve and Ginny will be.
They said they'd be back in about an hour. Has it been an hour yet?
I don't know.
Listen, honey, if you're tired, why don't you go on back to the cabin? I'll wait here.
No. I don't want to leave Kate alone any more than you do. We'll wait for Ginny together. What are you smiling at?
Oh, I was just thinking how nice it would be if Ginny and I both got pregnant at the same time.
Well, Ginny can't marry Ryan until her divorce is final.
I know.
Listen, you weren't considering waiting until then to get pregnant.
Of course not. The sooner for us, the better.
You know, it's funny.
What?
Well, I never thought in a million years that I would end up being friends with an oil man.
An oil man?
Yeah, Ryan Connor.
Max, not all oil men are terrible. After all, my father was an oil man once. What about Alex Wheeler? He was a wonderful man.
Well, I sure hope Iris gets off this kick she's on about Ryan being responsible for Alex's death.
Look, Iris was convinced that Justin shot Alex on her wedding day, and she's finally gotten over that. Her anger at Ryan isn't nearly as bad. I think she'll get over that soon.
Well, I sure hope so.
Well, maybe I'll go into town tomorrow and have a chat with her. I haven't talked to her in a couple of days.
While you're in town, pick up yourself a pretty new dress.
Why?
Well, because when this investigation is over and done with, I'm going to take you out dancing to the boathouse. Now, how do you feel about that?
I'd love that.
Okay, it's a date.
Well, I think I'll go over and see how Ricky's doing with the band.
Now tell him we got to start the show in 15 minutes, Ruby.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Carrington.
I hope Mr. Parnell isn't too sore about Elena canceling out again.
I don't think so, really, Joe. The customers seem to like Ricky fine. If the customers are happy, that's all he cares about.
Yeah. Elena's sure having a rough time for these days.
Kidnapped?
Yeah. Until she gets over it, I don't want to push her.
I understand.
I was surprised to see you come in here last night with Mr. Parnell.
Were you?
Well, yeah, I didn't even know you knew him.
He's an old friend of mine from my Hollywood days.
Well, yeah, I should have guessed it, seeing as how you and Mr. Parnell both knew Chris Shaw. I just wanted to tell you, Mrs. Carrington, that I'm really sorry to hear about you breaking up with Mr. Carrington.
Thank you, Billy Joe.
I mean, I only saw you a couple times, but when I did see you together, you looked so happy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you upset. I apologize.
It's all right. Just been a little difficult lately, that's all.
Yeah, well, I know what you're talking about, believe me. You probably don't know this, but, my wife and I are separated, too.
I didn't know that. I'm very sorry.
She just asked me for a divorce this afternoon.
Are you going to give her one?
I'd give neither the sun, the moon, the stars if I could, but I ain't so sure I could give her a divorce.
I don't know what you're saying.
Now, we got a baby now. I mean, we got every reason in the world to stay together. Just don't make any sense.
People get divorces for emotional reasons, Billy Joe. They rarely make any sense.
Yeah. Who'd ever thought that we'd end up as friends, huh? Boy, we used to have some real knockdown, drag-out fights. I hope we can be friends, son. I got a feeling that... Well, I just got a feeling that you and me both need a friend right now.
You're gonna be all right, Joe. You're gonna be all right. Dr. McAllister left you some pills. He said you have blood poisoning. You could have died, Joe. I'm gonna go to that diner tomorrow. And I'm gonna take that job as a waitress. I want to help you find that money. But you gotta do something for me, Joe. You gotta write that confession. I mean, you can't let Dennis Carrington go to jail for something he didn't do. It's not right. You can't let that happen. It's just not right. But you can't die, Joe. I won't let you. I need you. I love you.
Poor baby. Still upset. I haven't helped you at all.
You've been wonderful.
Justin, please tell me what you're really worried about.
I can't.
Sweetheart, if you can't trust me by now,
You know I trust you.
tell me. Tell me what you're so upset about.
Bubba came to see me.
What's old Bubba up to now?
Slant drilling. I was as stunned as you are when he told me that. I got so angry with him, I wanted to kill him.
Oh, no.
Max and Ryan were right about Bubba. I was wrong.
Justin, you've got to go. You've got to go to them. You've got to tell them in the morning.
No.
Justin, you've got to.
No, they'll never believe me. They'll think I was in on this from the very beginning. They'll think I'm blaming Bubba to save myself.
No, they won't think that, Justin.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. You know they will.
Well, you're just going to have to think of a way to convince them that you're telling the truth.
Or can I? Bubba says that if he goes to jail, he's going to do his best to take me with him. He'll say that I was involved.
Were you involved, Justin?
I swear I wasn't, Ashley. Well, now it's Bubba's word against mine. I'm just happy my daddy isn't here to witness my dishonoring my family and its name. I always wanted to be like him. Grow up and live in that big house. Have a son to carry on my name. Instead, Bubba Wadsworth is going to land me in jail.
No. I'll figure out some way to help you. I won't let you go to prison.
Ashley, there's only one way out for me.
What is it?
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.